We're gonna do one alert corner. We're gonna save the others. The API is not updating, so I'm not able to do the ones that I've been wanting to do, and it's really frustrating me. Yeah. I'm gonna have to just start like taking screenshots in game and saving them to my laptop so that I can read from them, because otherwise we're gonna be waiting for weeks and weeks. And it's just, we're 4 or 5 weeks into the season. It's not acceptable anymore. When I unlocked something 3 weeks ago and I still can't read it off the API. This comes from the Phantasmal Shell in the Season Pass, though. Mithrax repeats the mantra. Oh, I guess I should give you the flavor text on it. The light provides. Mithrax, the little epigraph there at the top. Mithrax repeats the mantra to himself as he makes his way across the helm. It was not long ago that this wing housed the servitor that sustained the House of Light and aided the Vanguard in stopping the Endless Night. But now, something altogether lurks within these walls. As he descends the stairs into the hangar bay, he sees it for the first time. The crown of sorrow, large and grotesque, seated ominously in the spot the servitor once occupied. That is when he hears the voices. Mithrax. They hiss in union. Out of the corner of his eyes, he sees their shadows skittering along the walls and ceiling. Dregs, vandals, faces he vaguely recognizes, names he barely knew or never learned. The light provides. Even in his own mind, his voice sounds somehow smaller. Kell of Death. Kell of Light, Captain of Death. They swarm toward him now, phantasmal ether bleeding from wounds he inflicted in another life. We remember what you did. We remember who you are. The light provides, he tells himself as a shiver runs down his back. The light provides. The light. Mithrax? He spins around. Splicer gauntlet poised to strike. Only when he sees Crow standing at the wing's entrance does he lower it. What's going on, the hunter asks. It is nothing. Mithrax lies. The voices are silent, their shadows gone, but not forgotten. Excuse me. He pushes past Crow without another word, desperate to leave the past behind. It makes a lot of sense that we had to do Caiatl this season. She's gonna be the last person. She's obviously in the key art of the season, and with Callus coming back, we have to have her there. But we've had increasing, and when I say that we've had increasing references in the Lord of the Splicers, it's stuff that I can't read because it's locked behind the API. But it is stuff that we've been able to read, and this ragtag group, and Mithrax has kind of been MIA ever since we ended the Endless Night, really tending to his people. There's some stuff in there this season about, recommending that Saint go down and, see Mithrax, see if Mithrax needs help to get his mind off Osiris. We're really overdue for a Mithrax season here, and I do think that the Splicers are going to be a pretty key part of getting Rasputin back up and running. Their tech, their things like that. Maybe the Cabal help a little bit with reinforcing, providing security possibly. But I think it's interesting that as we read with Ikora on the Trespasser sidearm, the nightmares are not limited to just Crow, Zavala, and Caiatl. We're now seeing Ikora's had them. Mithrax has dealt with them. I imagine Amanda Holliday is going to have a piece of lore at some point. I'd love to know what happens when Saladin goes in there. I
don't think anyone wants to see Saladin go anywhere. I'm pretty sure Saladin's not allowed to go to the moon with his nightmare.
Well, so as it says here, though, the nightmares are appearing when you approach the Crown of Sorrow, when you go into that old Elixni wing. And I think that's a pretty big deal. I think that this is probably our biggest evidence for this. And then there's one describing a Splicer and hidden strike team that boards the Leviathan to breach it. Splicers are breaching into it and whatnot while they're on there. So I think there's a little bit more to be done with that, with the Splicer storyline coming up. And if you were to do it, I would think it would be in Rasputin. We already know Anna has, put on her VR goggles and dove into Rasputin's Ingram. So I think it's only a matter of time until we do something wacky like that with some new contraption that Mithrax's best friends want to put on our arms. Not scared at all about seeing Tron 3, but we can always point to the lore of the season, I think, to point us ahead. And this being in the season pass, I think this is something that they want a lot of people to see. This is a shell that a lot of people are going to use. You go and you read this, compared to the Sparrow that you get, though, which is Marcus Wren is seeing nightmares. The Sparrow Racing Champ is seeing nightmares. So, like, everyone is kind of seeing them as a result of the ritual that Eris has done. This has gone spectacularly wrong in all the worst ways, and I just can't wait to have to load that up with the Crown of Sorrow up with all my bobbleheads that I've collected and launch it into space.
Yeah, let's say, didn't they mention that section of the helm is detachable? Like, they can just yeet that thing if we're getting bad.
That's why the tomb ship is there, is to throw the Crown of Sorrow into it and just yeet it off.
I gotta say,
that is just wild.
As a plan for a whole season, let's Ghostbuster style collect nightmares and dump them into the Crown of Sorrow. Probably not our best plan.
Probably not the best plan. And also on top of that, have you noticed that there are Aragorn spores floating around the entire helm, and they have been increasing?
And in case Josh, you may have some lore tidbits prove me wrong. That's my theory on how Callus is becoming like one with the Leviathan, is through that spore system, right?
Yep.
So that's probably not great. Again, Callus, I love you. You fucking up right now, though.